Good evening. Welcome to Diablo 3 Podcast. We are live from BlizzCon today. This is Flux, and I am joined by...
Nerdwards. Hello.
And we're talking into my phone on a recorder, so hopefully it'll actually probably be better than the last one, because it was all out of sync last time. And we're hoping some girls walk by in tracer pants.
Yes, please. I don't see any right now, though.
That's been the highlight of the show. It's everyone gets cosplay. They have these it's just orange yoga pants with like the Tracer logo, and it looks like the one Tracer wears with the little fake straps and pockets and everything. It looks kind of 3D though. I was looking really closely to see if they were straps or not. That's why
Blizzard started selling yoga pants now. Like you can get them out of the BlizzCon store. It's probably the unsung hero of BlizzCon, I would say.
And here comes a guy wearing them right now.
And there it goes. And even males.
And that was going to be my joke. Insert sexist joke here about how they should only sell them in small.
Jesus Christ.
I was talking to Katniss, aka Leviathan, and Nineball were here. We were joking about that in the line at the press room earlier. And right as we said that, this like size 18 girl walks by wearing them.
Oh God! Oh no, that's bad news.
But yeah, we're not going to make any jokes about how yoga pants are a privilege, not a right, etc. But or vice versa. Anyway, so yeah, there's some fun, really good cosplay though. Are you amazed how many Overwatch cosplays there are already?
So many. I've seen like 2 ridiculous Reinhardt cosplays already that are insane. But yeah, there's a lot of Overwatch presence here for sure.
I saw earlier going up the elevator a man and woman in matching whatever the ninja guy is who shoots the mystical dragons and shit.
Genji?
I don't know. I neither know nor care.
Is Genji or Hanzo? I think I'm not sure.
Who knows? It's a Han Solo. But they were really good costumes. They all like leather. They were like black leather underneath them, and they had the white, kind of like stormtroopers, like the white plastic over the black leather.
Yeah,
they had
armor.
really shiny swords with the glowing grips and stuff. But yeah, the Overwatch cosplay is just taken off immediately.
Yes, absolutely. It's kind of insane, actually.
I think I've seen one female barbarian and a couple of Tyraels. That's about it for Diablo.
I saw a Crusader cosplay, a female Crusader, and I saw a couple monks.
But yeah, it's definitely more just sort of casual cosplayers. I've seen quite a few in the press room, for God's sakes, and in theory they're media, not cosplay in there. Used to be you'd see a few outside, like very organized, and nobody else would have anything on, and others like, I don't know, 2%, 5%?
Yeah, it's kind of insane. There's a lot of cosplay this year. I mean, there was the year I came before, but this year it seems... I think the presence of Overwatch, I mean, it sold 20 million copies, so like the fan base for that game is like freaking huge right out the gate. It's apparent, for sure.
And it's a very different style of costume, too. It's not all just, wings and swords. Of course, the things I mentioned both have wings and swords.
Yep.
I've seen a bunch of Mercies running around with glowing wings and stuff.
Well, I think the appeal of it is there's varying degrees of nationality, race, religion, all that stuff. So it's like, it's pretty interesting. Anybody can find anything in Overwatch, I think, is the idea.
And you could be futuristic, or a robot, or a guy in a leather jacket.
Or a cowboy, yeah.
I want to be a cowboy when I grow up.
I bet you do.
So the big announcement this time, which we have been downplaying and saying was never going to happen the last 15 podcasts.
Yes.
So it was funny. We kept joking, why are they doing BlizzCon this year? There's nothing new to announce. All they have is the, what was the first thing? Overwatch?
Overwatch, yeah.
Yeah, but they have, the new character in Overwatch, the hacker.
Sombra.
Trinity.
Yeah,
Trinity and a sombrero. It's Sombra. And that was a cool reveal video.
Yeah, it was, she's a stealth class too, which is really interesting.
And then that was the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes of the opening ceremonies. And then it was like 10 minutes? Some guy talking about the AI. Deep Blue's going to start playing StarCraft, apparently.
Yeah. The idea of them teaching computers to beat us in video games is pretty interesting.
Yeah, but do we need 10 minutes of that in the opening ceremonies?
Probably not.
And then they immediately go to this 10-minute commercial for Overwatch esports and how it's great because they can build it from the ground up.
Oh yeah, the NFL of Overwatch, the Overwatch League. They've got merch for it already and everything. They rolled it out pretty quick.
And of course, the whole talking point there is we don't need to try to steal all the esports from other established games by making the same game they're doing, aka Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah.
We're just going to make our own game. We can start our own. No, there's no. I mean, I guess obviously there's Counter-Strike and there are actual RTS, shooter game esports.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of esports that go on right now, but Overwatch is definitely trying to make its way onto the scene. I mean, the tournament's here. The first Overwatch World Cup is tonight, so I guess we'll see how big it takes off.
Or probably not, because I'll be gone.
Yeah, probably. That's right, you're leaving early.
Yeah, I don't care. I have my fun. So then they did a bunch of bullshit, and the opening ceremony, it was 10 minutes of content in 50 minutes, and I'm like, this is terrible. It was going on and on. Fans weren't even cheering that much,
Yeah.
We're like, bring back Metzen. Bring back Metzen. Did you chant?
I didn't chant that, no. No, I did not.
But you were thinking it, though, right?
I mean, I like Mike Morhaime, but he's a different personality, that's for sure. Metzen's definitely the hype man.
AKA a non-charismatic person.
Yeah, he's a nerd. He's like us.
Yeah, he's a CEO. But then I actually bailed on it. I was watching it on a video screen downstairs somewhere. And And I was like, oh, this is bullshit. I'm going to just go in and wait for the press room to open so I can get the press kit. And then, like, at 50 after...
Yeah, at 50 after, they announced so much stuff. Necromancer class coming to Diablo 3 in what seems to be a paid DLC-like character pack. 2 free zones coming next year. And then the Diablo 1 anniversary event, which is actually pretty damn cool.
And I posted a bunch of stuff on the site about this. I uploaded all the screenshots and the video already, and actually wrote a Necromancer gameplay report before I even started doing this podcast. So I've been busy today. Give you something to do instead of watching cosplay girls in Overwatch outfits.
Well, that's half the fun of BlizzCon, though.
When the Tracer pants appear, that is true.
That's true.
Of course, we've seen one appear, and it was a guy.
Yes. Well, I've seen a couple male cosplay guys in tights today. It's been pretty interesting.
It's funny how when you see like the female version of a cosplay of some male character, it's always kind of sexy.
Yeah.
And when you see a guy version of a female character,
it could be weird. It could be weird. I mean, it's still cool. Like, I respect, you do you. I could never wear those tights, but you do you, dog.
You were wearing skinny jeans last year. How different is that really?
I mean, I'm still wearing skinny jeans now. They're not that tight.
They're khaki-ish though.
They are khakis this year.
So so they did announce a new character, Necromancer. It's playable in the demo. We both played that. We'll talk about that in a minute. It's kind of funny. The one thing I noticed at the start, remember like the last 5 BlizzCons before the game launched, there'd always be like the public Q&A, and the first question was always some neckbeard like, "Where's Necromantors?"
Yes, I do.
That happened every time, right?
Yes, every single time, and every single time they did a Q&A on live stream and stuff too.
And even after they announced all 5 initial characters, and the Witch Doctor obviously was filling the Necromancer role.
Yes, yeah, that was the idea at least, right?
And then, so we thought, and then we got the Crusader as the expansion character, and we thought, okay, maybe they're done. We've got 2 characters for each main stat, and then they're kind of have the bases covered, and then no more expansion packs are coming out, no more full expansion packs anyway.
Yeah.
And then suddenly
we get a character pack, whatever that means. It sounds cool, but what are the odds? What do you think about the odds of a D3 expansion now?
Well, we're not getting one now. We're getting DLCs, which are
DLC packs, yeah.
mini expansion packs.
I mean, I'm okay with that though. I mean, that's gonna at least help us maybe fund Diablo and maybe get the ball rolling on the next step, or maybe it's already rolling. This will just help that out a little faster.
It gives all the new hires something to do while they're working on D4.
Yeah.
Like on their weekends, they can come in and do a little coding and slap together another stash tab or something.
Yeah, it's a trial run for the real deal later.
But yeah, it's funny. That's all those stupid Necromancer questions. Apparently, they were psychic. They weren't just uninformed and annoying. They were psychic.
Yeah.
So you play the Necromancer 9 words, nerd balls.
Yes.
Mouth a ball.
Nerdwards. Yes. Yeah, I did. And honestly, like my initial reaction, it's hard to gauge because it was a low-level Greater Rift,
Greater Rift 2.
Yeah, Greater Rift 2, and in Blizzard's typical fashion with Diablo 3, they're bottlenecking you into making you use a primary and spender when we all know that most classes at this point have evolved past using primaries or basic skills. But that said, Corpse Explosion felt really, really cool, especially if you herded like you do in Diablo 2 and herded up a big mass of monsters. The way they're doing the skeletons is massively different than the way the Witch Doctor is. It's a passive skill that on activation sends the skeletons towards whatever target you're hovering, which is pretty cool. So you have direct control over what your skeletons are attacking and intervening and that kind of stuff too. But Corpse Explosion was still probably the highlight for me. I know the tuning's going to change, obviously, but it still felt really cool.
Did you see the panel? The Diablo panel just came off now?
Yeah, I did. The 20th anniversary?
Yeah, they have that on the TVs in the press room, so I was able to watch that while I was writing my report, and I added a few corrections and some updates and stuff. But yeah, that's the big thing with the main question we have with the Necromancer initially is like, how is this not just another Witch Doctor? And happily, they took that on directly in the panel.
Literally in a bullet point presentation on how it was different from the Witch Doctor. Yeah, that was pretty interesting.
And the first 30% of it was skeletons.
Yes, it was skeletons and dark, not funny.
But no chicken transformation modes apparently.
Yes, yeah, no chickens for Necros.
If you could turn into a skeletal chicken, would that be cool?
Actually, yeah, that would be kind of cool.
Okay, I'm sure that'll be in the first expansion pack. the next DLC.
That'll be the first cosmetic you can buy. Cosmetic chickens.
But the play differences on the Necromancer. Obviously, we only know 8. We saw 6 skills in the demo, and they talked about 2 more in the panel.
Right.
But all they did was say Blood Golem. They don't say what it does, so it isn't really informative. But they have this massive skeleton onslaught skill, skeleton army, which looks like a reverse Nova targeted to a spot, you know?
It looked like my graphics card's going to take a shit, is what it looked like.
It's basically just like, Meteor Storm or something like that, or Blizzard, but in one spot.
Well, yeah, it was 100+ skeletons of, running face first into whatever it is you target. And you can multicast it, apparently, or maybe they were just showing that for the demo. But if that becomes a spammable skill, I can see frame rates having issues.
They're probably pretty. They're just kind of gray and white skeletons. So they weren't really super graphically detailed.
True.
So it's sort of like just a particle effect or something. But yeah, but the question is how he'll play differently. In the demo, at least, you're so underpowered and you have such nothing on your gear that you just kind of get a sense of it felt like Diablo 1 actually, a lot more clicky. Like you're individually cursing monsters basically.
Yeah, no, it did. And the thing that I found the most interesting about it was this was like fully fleshed out. Instead of it just being a character they're adding in.
It's actually a skeleton. He's not fleshed out at all.
Sorry. The opposite of fleshed out. But they're actually adding in he's going to have the full campaign. He's going to have dialogue for that. There's going to be story that goes along with everything he's doing. And there's a male and female model, which we've never seen a female model Necromancer before, so that's pretty interesting. Equal opportunity Necromancers are cool.
Yeah. It's funny, one of the first Diablo novels had a female Necromancer, the first or second one.
Mm-hmm. We never saw what she looked like, though.
I think she's on the book cover, actually.
Oh, okay, well, then I'm a liar.
And there was also, I think, a female Necromancer in one of the comic books, but obviously none of the Blizzard guys on stage regard those as canon.
Apparently not, yeah.
They're like, first female Necromancer ever, except for the ones in all of the books that we charge you money for.
Yeah, I actually, on the plane ride over, was reading a story that is no longer canon. I didn't realize it until halfway through because there's no way it could be.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Chris Benson.
So, Necromancer, was that one of your favorite Diablo 2 characters? Did you like the play style, or were you an angsty emo teen?
No, I actually never cared for the Necromancer at all. But after playing it on the demo, and depending on how it shakes out with development and stuff, it could shape up to be an actual ranged class in Diablo. Yeah. So I may main switch. It depends on how it plays, though.
Well, the thing with the Necromancer in D2 was that your direct skill attacks were all fairly weak. They were basically, the whole point was you would use curses, or you'd use like your Iron Golem with what was his thorns called? Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden, yeah.
Or else you could use amplified damage and stuff.
Yep.
And you basically try to get a big pack of monsters and just kill one of them off, and then you would sort of corpse explosion the whole world.
Yep.
So it's a little bit like Exploding Palm is now with the monk, except that instead of putting the explosion on them first, you wait till they die, and then you blow everything up in a chain.
Right.
And they have improved corpse explosion a bit in this now, where it'll domino by itself. So if you have multiple corpses, it looks like demolition video of a bridge exploding.
Yeah.
You always see those little explosions going pop, 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 like a quarter-inch apart.
Well, and the way it works too, when you physically cast on the ground without a target, it just casts a rune, and that rune can trigger up to 10 corpse explosions at a time. It looks like.
Yeah, but if you have a bunch of corpses at once, they all go pop, 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 pop. It's kind of sexy.
Just kind of in a row, yeah.
But the whole thing with it, of course, is kind of what you had in Diablo 1, where the damage is based on the monster's hit points.
Right.
So if you have, you can kill trash mobs with other trash mobs pretty well, but if you have an elite, the trash mobs do nothing to the elite.
Yeah, it's not going to be useful at all for killing elites.
And what you got to do with you get an elite pack is you got to concentrate on one of the minions.
Yeah.
And you try to bring one minion down, and then that one will pop everybody else, and then you can pop 4 or 5 minions in a row, and that'll kind of beat up the elite.
Well, that's
champion suck though.
Well, at least it's consistent. At least we're getting the same problems the D2 Necromancer had in D3.
Yeah, and of course, we're playing a level 70 character with no runes and no legendary gems and no special gear.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who knows what it'll be like in the final game. But
either way, the demo at BlizzCon felt cool. It felt good. Obviously, tuning and stuff's going to make it different, and we'll see. But it was a lot of fun to sit down and play.
Did you get to actually sit down? They have chairs out there?
Yeah, they had a couple. Did you not have a chair?
No, we have chairs in the press lounge.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, they gave us chairs.
They're between the lobster fountain, the chocolate fountain, and the harpist.
The best part about the entire experience was that as soon as they announced it at the opening ceremony, before Kevin Pierce even finished, I got up and was running for the demo units. Got to the demo units, got in line. There's a few people there that got there before me. I was probably fourth in line to get to the units, and it was already filled up with one session of people that were playing. And they didn't get halfway through, servers crashed. Every server crashed for Diablo 3's demo, and they shut it down for almost 2 hours, where you couldn't even play the demo right after they announced it. So in true Diablo fashion, Error 37 happened again.
Awesome. Just like your own Battle.net.
Yeah, it's just the good old days.
Are you a Blizzard employee?
No.
Okay.
I am not a Blizzard employee. I was almost one time.
I'm also not.
Some guys walked up to it and asked if we're Blizzard employees. That's why it's a live podcast. Like, he can't see my media badge. It's hiding. So, one other thing about the Necromancer, I'm thinking, what happens in Act 5 with the story? Because, Malthael is the Lord of the Dead. He's, controlling all the corpses.
Yeah.
Can the Necromancer, fight him for that or something? Obviously not, but...
I mean, this is where I would break into lore talk and you would just roll your eyes at me. So, no.
I was a cute girl walking by. It's okay, go ahead. I'll roll my eyes at her.
But, I mean, obviously it's different aesthetics. Anyone that knows the lore of the Necromancer, it's much different than what Malthael controls. They're more about balance than dead. The dead just kind of helps balance things for them, I guess.
But they did all the demo. I mean, all the panel. They're like Lord of the Dead. He has the power of the dead, and the cinematic. He's raising skeletons and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, Malthael kills them and raises them, and you kill them, and then you can raise them again, because now they're really dead?
Right, yeah, exactly.
It's like a timeshare on the corpses.
Yes.
Reminds me of my first honeymoon.
Yes.
So, any other Diablo, any other Necromancer stuff? Yeah, I mean, it's obviously early to say.
Yeah, it's really, really early in the development. We won't get them until they said was it second half-ish 2017, so it'll probably be, later next year.
December 29th at midnight.
Yes, it'll be as late as possible. I mean, as long as they spend time developing and getting it right, it'll be fine. But the Diablo 1 anniversary stuff is coming soon, and that was really exciting.
Is it?
Yes. So basically in January...
It's going to be in the PTR next week, they said. So.
Right, yeah. It's supposed to be on the PTR next week, but they're patching in the Darkening of Tristram, which will be an event that literally throws you back to Classic Tristram, Classic Diablo 1. They're using the Diablo 3 engine. They're cutting down some of the frames and animations and stuff, but it'll have...
So they walk all choppy.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. You still walk fast, but you walk choppy. But yeah, it's Diablo 3's engine, but they're trying to dumb it down. There's apparently some like retro pixelization they're doing to make it look kind of crappy graphics, and the full 16 level dungeons with all 4 of the big bosses remade looks pretty interesting.
And they're using current tile sets that are very similar to that, so they're all in Act 1. It looks like.
Yeah, it looks like all the Tristram tile sets.
What looks like hell?
I guess Act 3?
Bone walls and blood lakes?
Core of area, that kind of stuff, maybe?
I guess, but they think they were saying it was all Act 1 in the video today.
Yeah, well, I mean, hell in Diablo 1 just looked like a cathedral anyways. It was just kind of like a room.
No, the hell part, all the walls were bone, though, and they had, like, big blood lakes around the outside of them.
That's true.
It was more bone structure than anything in the game.
It wasn't any lava, basically, is what I was saying.
Well, of course, they had the caves. There's nothing
caves had the lava.
Yeah, the caves, I guess, those are obviously cave levels in D3.
Right.
But they're not, the full glowing lava and stuff like that.
Well, and they're going to have, like, cosmetic items and secret little doodads that you probably don't care for at all. But they're also, like, when you...
Baby Butcher.
Yeah, Baby Butcher pet, which is really, really cool. But the cool thing for me was that they're opening up the original Tristram, too. So when you go through... You have to go to Old Tristram and take a portal. Once you go through, you can actually wander around the old school Tristram and find little secrets and stuff around there, which is pretty cool, including a new Wirt's leg transmog, which looked pretty neat.
The dual-wield Wirt's leg.
Dual-wielding Wirt's leg. His actual skeletal leg and then his actual fake leg.
Awesome. I'm sure there'll be like 14 damage points. It'll be really awesome.
Yeah, it'll be really powerful, I'm sure.
Maybe there'll be an Easter egg. You kill something with it or something.
Yep.
Yeah, so, any other Necromancer thoughts?
Really, just excited to get my hands on the Diablo 1 demo. It'll be on PTR when I get back home, or shortly thereafter, hopefully. So I plan on that being the first thing that I do. And I find it kind of funny that I'll be doing that over doing the new season stuff, because I barely started this season at all.
That's more than I've started.
Yeah, I'm literally, I think, level 12 or 13 at this point. But real life, retail life, all that stuff's coming. So, but yeah, I'm super excited to get into PTR and try that out, and then waiting anxiously to hear more about the Necro and his full skill set fleshed out.
So I guess we know now why they started the new season so soon.
Yes. Yeah, they wanted to get that out of the way.
So they had to get the new season going. They couldn't start the PTR for this with like a week to go in the old season because it wasn't going to be in the next season.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, the timing wouldn't have worked for BlizzCon.
So that's why that last season was like 3 weeks shorter just to get it started. Now we're going to have like a 2.5 month PTR.
Yeah, it's probably been pretty long.
What if this season's like 4 weeks long and they started again like immediately? Like it's shorter every season.
Oh, man.
And the Dark Knight Tristram's like an 11-month season.
Hopefully not. I liked the 3-month season. That was probably my favorite length of season. Something we did, actually, I forgot to mention, was that this isn't just a one-time event either. Apparently, it's supposed to be an annual event. Every January, during the anniversary of Diablo, they're going to patch this in, supposedly.
Tristram will darken.
Yeah, the Darkening of Tristram in January.
And Dave Rivik will roll over in his grave.
Yep, there you go.
So, what else have you done at BlizzCon? You looked at other panels? Did you go to the Blizz store?
I did not go to the Blizzard store because, like an adult, I ordered it all online as soon as it came available and had it shipped to my house to wait on me. I don't want to carry it home in my luggage, so...
Don't they have special things only available here, not online?
The one thing that I want that I did not get is the limited edition, the Necromancer print, actually. John Mueller, the picture that got taken down from the BlizzCon store, got posted. It's a $75 art print for it. The problem is I came with only a duffel bag, and I know that if I put that in there, it would just get crushed in travel, so I would be really mad.
Grab some beer, go for it.
Yeah, if only.
Guys go by with a walking like 40 bottles of beer and executive lounge party there, right?
Oh, they had a cart of kegs going out to the square earlier.
They're probably selling those, though.
Yes, I would probably so.
Yeah. So yeah, I looked at the BlizzCon store. I didn't buy anything, so I don't care. But I see there's a lot of interesting stuff going on.
Yes.
It's more fun. A couple years ago, 2, 3, 4 years ago, BlizzCon, all you saw was like WoW merchandise. Everybody had like Murloc hats and shit on.
Yeah.
And it was just like, like carrying around like big fake swords. And I kind of like a little Overwatch, a little diversity now.
Yeah, the Overwatch stuff, and they have some really cool 20th anniversary Diablo. The 20th anniversry Diablo shirt's pretty cool.
I didn't see it. That's the Realms of Evil one.
It's got like the tour dates on the back, but they're all just places in Diablo, and then it says Anaheim at the bottom. Like it's like Caldeum, Tristram, Westmarch, and then Caldeum.
Will you wear that at work?
Yeah, actually I could. I could get away with it.
Because you work in retail gaming stuff, so you can wear gaming shirts all day.
It's a talking point, right?
Tax deductible.
Tax deductible, exactly.
That's the problem here. I can't wear t-shirts at my work exactly, so no tax deductible BlizzCon gear for me.
It's not good, man.
Maybe I get a big cosplay. I wear those Tracer pants might work though, right?
Yeah.
Would you buy wine for someone wearing those Tracer? If it was a girl, sure, right?
Probably so. It would depend.
Yeah. So what else are you going to see tonight? What have you played so far?
I've only played the Diablo demo. I played it like 3 times.
And just watched a bunch of panels?
Yeah. I watched the What's Next Warcraft panel because I've enjoyed the new expansion for Warcraft a little bit. I've watched some of the Overwatch and Heroes of the Storm tournament stuff. I really, really am anxious to see how the Overwatch World Cup turns out, just because it's such a new game, and again, I work in retail, so Overwatch is a big part of my business anyways, so it's kind of interesting to see how this franchise is growing in just like 6 months, how much it sold 20 million copies in 6 months. Typically it takes games, 5-6 years to do that.
And people were bitching so much about, why is it full price? Why don't they doing, wasn't it $20 plus DLCs?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, no, it's $60 for the whole game.
Yeah, and it's online only too. There's no single player, so it's like, and it still is sold that much.
Yeah, once again, Blizzard printing money. Once again,
they're killing it, man.
So, I was wondering, because they have regular like Overwatch PlayStation out in the open, and in the back of the building, there's like this huge like vault-looking building.
Yeah,
with this giant white wall for Overwatch. I haven't even seen what's inside that.
I think that's the tournament room. Actually, that's where they're hosting the tournaments.
So it's all hidden away because all the other tournaments are out in the open.
Yeah, well, they're having some of like the semis and stuff out here, but it's such a big. When you go in that room, it's packed. Like there's a capacity in there, kind of like the way they did with the StarCraft 2 tournaments 2 years ago when I was here, where they had like a whole separate section for the StarCraft people to go in and do their thing.
So, so you fly across the country, you spend $300 on your BlizzCon ticket to watch some guy play a video game on TV.
Yes, yeah, basically, yes, basically.
Well, I guess they're trying to prove the esports point, right?
Yeah. Well, I did it to play the Necromancer for 45 minutes.
Well, at least you're playing, though. You're just watching someone play.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, people joke, people obviously fly all over the world to watch their football team or their baseball team or whatever play, and they spend, $5,000 to go watch the Cubs win the World Series.
Yep.
And we don't think that's weird, but so why is it weird to watch it? Of course, you can watch the guy play video games on YouTube if you want. Yes. You can play it yourself,
Technically, you can also watch the sports game on YouTube, though. Or on a TV.
I guess there is an excitement of being part of the crowd, hearing the cheers and stuff.
Yeah. It's got to exist.
Yeah, and then you're hearing the crowd react whenever everyone says "for the Horde," etc.
Yeah, yes.
So are you getting? So after this, are you going to go get in line for Weird Al and a day and a half ahead of time?
No,
just
I'm
in
not.
Case?
No, not at all. I mean, more power to him. I'm psyched that people are psyched for it. I'm not the target audience for that. I don't think.
So you're going to be here the whole time, the rest of the night, and tomorrow? So what's on your agenda?
Drink a lot tonight.
You going to play some Overwatch?
No. I do want to try Sombra. I'll probably tomorrow. Usually my demo day is going to be the second day when the Diablo panel's not happening. So my goal tonight is to hang out with other community people, hang out, drink a little bit, and then after that go to sleep abruptly. It's also one of the guys we brought. His 21st birthday is tonight, so we're going to take him out.
His first legal drinks.
Yes, his first legal drinks, which will be super fun.
But it doesn't taste as good, right?
Yeah, and when your first legal drinks are the first night of BlizzCon, he does not understand how miserable he's going to be tomorrow. His life is going to be hell on earth, and I'm really excited for him.
And you're sleeping 14 people in one room, right?
7.
Close enough?
Yes, it was 5. Now it's 7.
Did you rent a house or what?
No, it's just we had a group of 4, and then my brother's wife and friends showed up.
And you're all just crammed in some hotel in walking distance?
Yeah, basically, yeah. Right up the street.
Yeah, that's nice. And it's an absolute dump, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Hotels are such shit
There's
around
a hot
here.
Massage bar out front.
Nice. Well, it's a little stopover afterwards.
Yeah, there you go, right?
A little happy ending time, right?
There you go, exactly.
So how many BlizzCons is this for you?
This is my second. BlizzCon.
So you missed it last year?
Yeah, I wasn't here last year.
Because you were here 2 years ago.
Apparently, I only come on anniversaries. I came on the World of Warcraft 10 year, and it was the Warcraft 20 or whatever, and then now the Blizzard 20 or the Diablo 20.
They've got enough properties going long term. There'll be something anniversary every year, right?
Yeah,
It'll be like
at this point, yeah.
When was StarCraft come out? Like 98 or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like 20 years of StarCraft pretty soon or something.
Yeah, that will be coming soon actually.
And Warcraft was out before Diablo, so Warcraft is going to be like its 29th anniversary or something. So.
Warcraft hit 25 years. I think it was 25 years, wasn't it? 2 years ago? I don't remember.
Neutral here.
I don't remember anymore.
Ready to work.
There you go, right?
Yeah, so any last thoughts? You're just you're excited to be here? And
yeah, I'm having a blast. I mean, BlizzCon, the year that we came last time, we had less news, actually. It was just patch news about Delcer's Magnum Opus. They announced that set for the Wizard and a few other classes. So actually getting a new class, the idea of paid DLC is exciting to me. I mean, obviously, you don't typically like to pay for things, but if we're paying for something for the Diablo team, then that's funding the Diablo team to hopefully produce more content for us in the future. But what excites me about this whole thing is kind of what the future is, because if this is what's happening now, that tells me there's not another expansion in the works. They're working on these paid DLCs instead, and they're going to be smaller DLC items, which means that all the hirings they've been doing maybe in the background are for a bigger future project for Diablo possibly.
Well, I'm sure they're working on Diablo 4 or whatever they're going to call the next thing, but they're apparently not just, leaving D3 in hibernation mode.
Which I was shocked about. I mean, I'm sure you were too. Like, we both talked about how we didn't expect anything, so to get what we got was pretty awesome.
And a new character, obviously, is a lot of work. I mean, a lot of new skills.
It's not nothing.
It's more than Kanai's Cube,
Yeah, so absolutely.
Oh, we didn't mention the whole thing with the specs now.
Oh God, yeah, the Armory. Yeah, they're also adding in the Armory where you can save up to 5 armor sets, including your passives and gems and that kind of stuff too, so that you can just easily swap between specs without having to level separate characters, like me having 3 wizards in a season like I usually do.
Well, yeah, so now you're going to have one character.
Yeah, I'm going to delete every character. I'm going to have one wizard.
You have 17 character slots and 1 wizard.
Yes.
And 5 specs.
Exactly. I'm going to buy...
Well, you probably need 2 wizards and 5 specs on each, because you get all possible builds.
Well, and with the paid DLC, you're getting 2 character slots and 2 stash tabs on top of the character as well. So, yeah, it's I'll have all that room and nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it's funny they're giving us more character slots just when they finally announced a feature that will cut our need to have multiple characters.
It's perfect timing, right? Perfect timing.
They did have some nice details on it, where they're actually saying they've already thought about how gyms are going to switch out.
Paragon points, too,
and, they didn't mention death in hardcore, like losing part of the gear.
They did not, yeah.
But I guess once you said it, it's like you can't wear one of the pieces that are in your armory. They're locked away until you switch the whole thing at once.
Right, exactly. And I do foresee, now obviously it was the first iteration, the first slide they showed, but I do foresee it being a problem, does it work with the gear in your stash? And if it doesn't, when they switched it on the panel, all of your gear went straight into your inventory, and that's obviously not going to be useful for anybody, because you don't want to carry around a whole set of gear in your inventory.
It must be locked in your inventory somehow, where you can't just take out the armor by accident or take out one of the rings or something.
Well, yeah, and to be fair, it would still be faster than having to rebuild a whole separate thing. You could just drop it in there and then drop it in the stash, but hopefully they'll address that before we get to that point.
And of course, the thing in hardcore is you'll go off and die, if you die on some other character.
And now you lose all 5 sets.
You lose your 2 legendary gems. I'm assuming the sets must stay in the inventory.
I'm assuming so too.
You only die what you worry. But you lose your Bane of the Traps, and your next one's a level 1. At least it'll put that in automatically, but you're obviously going to lose the gem. It's not going to be remaining hidden away in your magic armory slot.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Anyway, we got back on the topic there a little bit, but yeah, we'll probably do a podcast next week and talk about some more details will come out and such. But for our live show here, this is about half an hour once I put these files together. And fresh from the scene of the crime. Remember last time we had Wyatt Chang walk by? That was
a good cameo. I was waiting to see if he walked by this time, and nothing.
There's about 100 Wyatt Chang impersonators here.
Yes, there are.
I see you guys all the time.
It's not him. Yeah.
Yeah, no Bill Roper impersonators yet, but
yeah, not yet. Of course, he is supposedly here though.
Of course, no one can recognize him now that he's shaved, so it's irrelevant.
Yeah, we need the beard back, Bill. Yeah. We need the beard back.
Brevik's got 2 beards.
He's got enough beard for both.
Yeah, both. Yeah. Okay, thanks for your time, man. We're live with the show. You can go back and wait in line some more.
Yay!
And thanks for your time. You're listening to the Diablo 3 podcast and blah, blah, blah. Moo.
Moo, 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 moo.
I have not seen any cow costumes today. Moo.
Me either. Moo.